As I told you guys this morning that we'll be talking to a young man I got my notes here out of the Western University, and there's a reason why I so want to talk to him today. But we're gonna introduce him shortly. Stick and stay with us right here in the Praise Life Morning Show.
Okay, people, this is Miller from the Christian Sound, Shekinah out of the UK. Just letting you know that each and every Friday, right here on SPR Live FM at 5 p.m., you can catch the Shekinah Gospel Show, where we endeavor to play the latest and best gospel reggae, along with some other genres, man, because the gospel thing turn up, you know what I mean? So keep it locked to the big station, people, and you can catch the Shekinah Gospel Show coming to you from out of the UK with the best in urban gospel music. Check it out. Bless.
Let's talk real. Too many of our Afro-Caribbean elders spent 40 plus years in this country.
That was the opening of on Saturday, Black Graduates 2025 at the Western University. And I want to say good morning to our guest. I'm just going to pronounce his first name, Lilem. And I pronounce it right, Lilem?
Lolem, yeah.
Lolem, right. Lolem. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name because I'm going to mess it up. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, sir.
Perfect. So it's Lolem Brahanu, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I just graduated from Western. I graduated honor specialization in political science. And as you mentioned, we just had our Black Grad, which was a wonderful experience put on by the EDI office, as well as the rest of Western. And yeah, I'm excited to have graduated, and I'm really excited about that. That program was very well done, and I was very happy and fulfilling to have that done on campus. So yeah. Just a little bit.
Now, when I got there, first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. You guys noticed that when you saw the opening of the broadcast, we played the drums there, and that was done by the, oh my goodness, I had the name in my head. Onango. Why did
Similar, and it's a group. It's a group
yeah.
coming from Toronto.
From Toronto, yeah. Ngoma Ensemble. That's it. Ngoma Ensemble, and they open up beautiful. But something threw me off, and I'm thinking, what? And I said, who can I talk to? Who can I talk to that would give me this sense of to what I was seeing? I'm going to explain all of that to you in a minute. Then, when we were coming in to the ceremony, I saw this young man, as he is right now, headband and whole 9 yards, running in, and I'm thinking he's late for something. He's late for something, and I thought to myself, society has caused us to think in a certain manner. I have two boys, two grown men actually, and from time to time they dress like you, and because of your dressing, from the police to everybody else, misjudge who you are, your mindset, your brain power, your abilities, your capabilities, your education level, because they judged you based on how you look. Am I right so far?
Yes, these are
Right.
all factual things there.
So when I saw him, I said to Pastor T, he's graduating, isn't he? And she said, I think so. I said, but 'cause she didn't see you from the front. We just looking you running in. I think your mom was behind you and you
Sure.
trailblazing, right? And I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, and I said to her, isn't it amazing if a cop passed by now would never think he's a graduate based on how he looks? And that's the quick judgment, right? Society has caused us to think that way. Then it got even worse for me. When I got in, it says black graduates 25, 2025. So my question was, why did it have black graduates 2025? Why was it separated? Can you give me an answer to that, or you don't have the answer?
So, my understanding of why it was separated was the point of the ceremony is essentially to have every single year for the rest of time, hopefully, a ceremony for each graduating class. So it was Black Graduates 2025 to really indicate like what this graduating class of 2025 has accomplished. So everyone obviously deserves their props. Everyone who's in Black in school deserves their props. But I think the point of the event was to necessarily give the props, create like a convocation like ceremony for Black people by Black people on Western campus for the graduating class of 2025. So that's why I think it was specified for 2025. But I do agree that everyone, their ceremonies like that or programs like that are really important for the overall community as well, I think.
So, for those of us who don't know, who don't understand, because I was like, is there another bigger graduation that is going to happen that everybody's included from the entire university?
Yes, so a convocation will occur. It has begun this week. I'm convocating on Thursday, so it's tomorrow, and so yeah, there will be a larger one. I think the point of the event is essentially to have like a very like a black friendly space. To be honest, is a space like for us by us. Of things that highlight our cultures, of things that where we have speakers that necessarily highlight us, people who can provide like value to us and our uh, upcoming careers and et cetera, as well as celebrate Black people. I think I was really grateful. I don't know if I'm spoiling a little bit. I was very grateful to receive an award there. Two of my fellow like graduates who I know very well also received awards who very much deserved it as well. So I do think it was good to be honored in the Black community by the Black community, right? I think sometimes success is measured by uh, institutions that we're in,
Hmm.
and it's nice that it was like a Black institution or a Black supporting institution that was providing some recognition. So I think it was nice.
I loved it. I'm gonna tell you from
Yeah,
beginning to end. It
yeah.
was surprising to me because I realized it's all black students.
Mhm.
All mostly, I think we had two two white folks that spoke, two Caucasian folks spoke. I think
Mhm.
so, but everything was pro black, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, wow. Now people may say, why have it separate? Why have that special thing? Why
Mhm.
was that so special to have that?
So when people say stuff like "Why have it separate? Why have it separate?" I actually just I don't even like the question, I'll explain why. I mean, for a very long time, it was separate by force. It was separate as in Black people weren't invited, Black people weren't included, Black people weren't welcomed. So I don't. It's like this is presupposing that like if you look at the graduating class of 2025 across the board, Black students would be the minority from the regular whole entire university class. So when we ask the question like is the regular convocation you could call it separated too if you wanted, right? Especially if that's now, if we start going back in history, it was separated by force. Black students weren't admitted, Black students weren't welcome, Black students were like made uncomfortable. So I think it's necessary to have these separate events. um, but it's and I would even push back on calling it separate. Everyone is welcome to attend. Like you're welcome to sit amongst the crowd. You're welcome to celebrate with us. You're welcome to have the food. But um, the idea of having it separate, I think, is good to highlight. Like we have a Black community at Western. We have unique circumstances that we go through, and we have our own unique culture. We have our own unique, just even the Black students at Western. We have our own unique culture. We have our unique community, and I think it was really good to celebrate with everyone there. So that's why I would say it's separate.
Well, I asked the question because I wanted to know, because I've heard this before. Like I
Mhm.
know a little bit, very little, of the Western University having this separation by force, as you said. And one of the statements that were made, they said it's the first in Western University. Was this the first period, or is just in the university itself?
So this was the first Black grad that was put on by the university. So our student groups on campus have had the opportunity and have worked really hard to put it on. So for the last 2 years, I believe. So 2 years ago, I'll be honest, I think I was a little young to be paying attention to graduation, so I didn't really necessarily get the details. But I do know last year, the ASA, which is the African Student Association, and the BSA, the Black Student Association, worked with the EDI office and put on a Black graduation at King's University. So it was campus related, but it wasn't directly on campus. I think this was the first year that it was fully blacked by Western. Western put their full force. It was on main campus. We were in a very main campus room. That's like that room is used, I think, in a lot of like ceremonies and stuff. I've been there for other events as well. So like very main campus, very focused. We had people from the institution of Western deeply involved. One of the white people who did speak, as you mentioned, was the like provost for academics. So that's of the whole university. So they're in charge of academics as a portfolio in the university. So it's like definitely, um, yeah, definitely it has occurred, but this was the first time that the university, I guess, definitely put its like force behind it.
Well, it was nice to see actually, and I appreciated that it happened. And again, as I said, like I was like blown away because I've never seen this before. I've never experienced it before. And on the invite, I said, sure, I'll come because I just want to experience what it will be like. And in seeing that, I was like, wow, this is different. And just to see all the students and to hear some of the lecturers who talked about their experience while being there for the very first time and becoming a lecturer and all that kind of stuff and the things they had to go through. A little bit that I read on, very little again, as I said, when I noticed that there's a period of time when Western University didn't even want black folks on the campus. They didn't want that at all. Is that accurate?
Yes, yes. I mean, historically, all universities across Canada had this perspective. And then even I guess when it was, how do I say, it was legal or allowed, quote unquote, people didn't necessarily feel welcome. I think that's still been an ongoing thing where black people don't necessarily always feel welcome on campus. But I do think the Office of EDI is doing a very good job in being very welcoming. But I also think we as students are really have really stepped up in the community building. I think like there are people who I like I'm very happy to say like have a full community and feel very welcome on campus because of these student groups. So yeah, definitely there was a time, and the time is still now that Black people don't always feel welcome on campus. If you don't connect to a community like right, quickly enough, or you might just be scared off. I would say the school is predominantly non-Black, like by a lot. Where Black people would be the very minute like minority, and certain institutional things, yeah, are a little maybe the uncomfortable is the word in regarding like how you're treated as a Black student. But I think we're definitely moving in a very good place by like that is like powered through the engine of Black students. So I definitely think that.
I know in the States, there is the university, I think it's Harvard, that it's pro black, if I'm correct. Am I right with that?
So maybe Howard it's HBCU. It's
Yeah,
called Howard.
Howard
Yeah,
University. That's right.
Howard. Yeah,
Howard
Howard is.
University. Yeah, they are predominantly black. Do you think that would ever happen here in Canada?
An HBCU in Canada. I think I think I would love that. I don't know the logistics behind it
Hmm.
because I think my understanding is of a lot of these HBCUs is they came out about in a time where excuse me, they came out in a time where it was like banned or it was like not legal to have Black students mixing on higher education campuses.
Hmm.
And then from that they continued, they grew and they grew and they grew. Um, I don't know necessarily if it will occur in Canada. I would love an HBCU. I would love a predominantly Black university. Um, but I don't necessarily know if that's gonna pop up in Canada. But yeah.
I know Canada. We had, by the way, this is a gospel station, and they're probably saying, "Why are they talking about black and white, folks?" It's a real issue. It's a real
Hmm.
thing that happens even in the churches. So as I said, we don't try to bring division among anybody, but
Hmm.
we just try to bring an understanding of what's actually going on, what's happening, and how it looks to the rest of the world. I know they were trying to do what you call a what's it called again? They were trying to bring in what you call a black high school. I think that's what it was in Toronto,
Okay, fair.
right? And everybody was asking the question, why?
Hmm.
Right? I say, why not?
That's
When
I think.
when the Chinese brought their school and nobody asked the question why. When the Jews had their school and nobody asked the question why. I think there was a school in Etobicoke here where it's predominantly for the, I don't know if it's the Sikh or the Hindu, but there was a school there. Nobody asked the question why. But as soon as the blacks step up and say, "Can we have our own?" Why? It's like this fear comes into everybody, like, oh, they're planning something. No, we just want to have our own too. Why are we not allowed to have our own? And it's amazing when you go to church, like we go to church. Is that a black church? What difference does it make if it's a black church or not? Because that's how we label things. And because we label things, we label things. And this is what I'm coming back to you now. We label things based on a look, not necessarily the content of the mind or the ability to do things. Because when I saw you, I saw one of my sons, and there was a case where my sons were, one of them was stopped by the cops during an event based on his look and not necessarily that he was doing anything. I personally was stopped many times because I remember I used to drive a red Mustang and I was pulled over, and the first thing, oh, we're looking for someone that looks like you driving a red Mustang. What does that mean to me? It's a real fact. And that was back in the day when you all this, let's call it EDI or ED, what do you call it? What do you call it?
So the office of EDI, so
Right.
equity, diversity, and inclusivity.
We
Yeah.
didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
there's no EDI. It's like you take it and
Mm,
you go with it, you roll with it, and you
mm,
had to you face this kind of stuff. I remember the cops pulled me over for and told me that he was following me off the highway. And I said, "You're lying. I just saw you just pass me, but you saw me with my locks and you turned around because you stick your nose in my car to see if I'm smoking weed. Back then, weed wasn't legal to smoke openly. And you stuck your head in the car to see if I'm smoking weed." Oh, I said, "That's exactly what you did. Why is your face all up in my car?"
mhm.
Right? I must praise God though that we're in Canada, because had I been in the States, I probably wouldn't have been around to have this conversation.
Yeah, it
Right?
might have been a different
And that's
ending.
probably a different turnout. But
Yeah.
to see it happening in higher education, how was your time while you were going to school?
So it definitely does happen in higher education. I'll start with that. I don't want to give off um, I guess, the persona that, oh, everything is smooth and everything is just not like that in higher education. It definitely is. I think it's just about being. It's definitely a journey, I guess, of like being like unapologetically like black or just who you are, coming as you are, and like so. I'm aware. I'm aware as someone who, as someone who is in higher education and has very big ambitions. For example, I would like to be a lawyer,
Mm,
and I've had the opportunity to work at certain places. I'm definitely aware of the perception that can come with, like, for example, having my hair braided, having a do-rag on, having a cap on, having my hair coming out of the back, having my braids, etc., etc. Um, I think it's just more about there. I kind of view it from two routes, and I think I've been told this, and I really like enjoyed it, which is you can you can come exactly how you are and be like unapologetically yourself, and you will face the consequences, and you can try to adjust and switch up, and you might still face consequences regardless because you're black. So I try to lean towards the first one because it's like if I might face consequences simply for being black regardless, I might as well come being black as myself. I might as well be myself. I might as well, if my hair is, if I wanted to have the cap on, I might as well have the cap on. If I want to wear my durag, I might as well have my durag on. I have my ears pierced. If I want to keep my ears pierced, I might as well do that because I could take it all off. I could go bald today. I could take my earrings out, and I still might face some sort of issues in my life. So I might as well come as myself and face issues regardless.
Be
That's
radical. Be
yeah,
radical, man. Be radical.
yeah.
Yes, I like that. Tamil, you have any questions for me? I know your brain is running left, right, and center with like,
Yes,
wow.
yes, because it's the first time I heard about the Black Community Award also. Was my first time. But the question that I have for you is like, what if like other Black students in a different university across
Mm,
Canada would want to do something like what Western have done? What are some of the tips that you can give them to move forward to that? Or if they feel face challenges, what are some of the things that you guys did or you know of that they did that you could encourage them to move forward into doing things, the Black Community Award,
mm.
just like Western, yeah.
So first, I would say my understanding, every single university should have some sort of branch. Maybe it's not at Western we have a full office. Maybe it's not a full office. Every university should have a branch of EDI of some capacity. Some people who are there to support equity, support inclusivity across the campus. So they should lean there. They can ask around there. They should go speak in the office, etc., etc. But I do think it really does start with, I guess, community. If the black community at Western hadn't already put on black grads in the past, I don't know. I don't know if the office necessarily would be supporting it. I don't know if the university would be supporting it. If we as students, as the black community, didn't set that example. So across Canada, I would really recommend. I think finding a community. If it's not there, creating a community. I think that's another big thing. Like people get really shocked or shy. Like I don't have a community where I'm at. Well, make one. It's two people as a community, two people as a
Right.
community, three people as a community. Create a community. So whether it's a club, like a lot of our spaces are like based, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yes.
And so create a club. All universities in Canada have a system in which you can create clubs. Create a club, join a club, and create your community. And if other if other universities across Canada start doing Black Grad, I think that would be a great thing. And I do believe some of them do. But yeah, I think it would be a great thing. And I think the best thing I can recommend to students, if people are wondering, is find and or create a community, um, and take up space. Be proud of yourself and don't be shy. Everyone else is less qualified and very happy to take up space. So be take up space and be qualified, I would say.
Right.
I like that.
Thanks.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Less
yes.
qualified and take no space. Any more questions, Tamelia?
No, that's the only one I have right now.
Hmm.
I really like that because even I would say also the colleges, I would also say could have something like that. Because when I was going to a college here, I didn't have that space, and to hear it in Western and stuff, it is good to have that space where you can belong there, you see your own people and belong in there and having that sense of belonging and persons relating with what you relate to. So thank you for that answer.
Well, uh, I just pronounced his name and thinking I want to pronounce it right. Lalim?
Lalam, yeah,
Lalam,
Lalam.
Lalam, Lalam,
Love.
right, Lalam. I want to thank you so much for talking with us. What's next for you?
So what's next for me is I need to throw a big, God willing, I want to go to law school. That's the game
Nice,
plan.
nice.
So I'm writing my LSAT this summer. I've been studying. I'm actually when we finish up the interview, I'm gonna go eat some breakfast and then I'm gonna go study. In that study time of my life, I'm gonna write my LSAT and then hopefully apply to law school. So
Hmm.
hopefully start law school in September 2026. So yeah, that's the game plan for me.
All the
Nice.
best to
All the
that.
best to you, man. All the best to you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for spending the
My
time with us.
pleasure.
I am grateful for what you do. Grateful for what you've been doing, and looking forward to seeing what next on the table. And hopefully, if I'm alive or I'm around, or depending on what area of what should I say, what area of
Well,
not law, but why can't I get the word out? What area you're schooling in? That's what I'm trying to look at. What area you're schooling in? Yeah,
Okay.
is that I will get an opportunity to visit your grad or to be there at your graduation because I enjoyed it immensely. I really did. I must say I really did enjoy the that little section there. It was brilliant. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. Thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day, guys.
You too.
Okay.
And we want to thank Lalum for spending the time with us here, right here on the Praise Life Morning Show, SPRLiveFM.com, as he shared with us some of the stuff that happens in schools.